Yo, what is going on, guys? We got a new gaming chair, by the way. Um, Today I want to start something new. You guys have seen me kind of do reaction videos and drop my thoughts on things, so I want to do that, but basically with religion, more specifically on Christianity. And I kind of like this because the series and videos and people I've been watching speak are getting grilled with very, very difficult questions. Like, how do you know that your religion is the correct one amongst so many? How do you know God is right? Why are you giving credit to God but not Tinkerbell? Why? If so, would God send an 11-year-old girl to hell who serves another God because they were misled by their parents? These videos and these people that I've been watching, they sit there and they have to answer these very, very difficult questions that people want to know the answer to. And they're not easy, but that's the point of watching this video. And for the people that choose to follow along with me, in time, you understand that Christianity is no joke. It's not something that people just made up. It is not something to take lightly. It's something that, if nothing else, is worth at least doing your research on. But this video in particular, I have watched a little bit of, and it's about a guy named Ray Comfort. I have not heard of him until today. All right. And I realized, like, hey, you know what? This would be a good time to share this with others. So, in particular, what this guy does, from my understanding, is he has a YouTube channel. And what he does is he goes on the streets, walking around in major cities and major states, it looks like, and he preaches to them. And he has some very, very difficult questions. And then he backs it up with facts and challenges their decisions on what they choose to believe or their morals and things like that. And he allows them to challenge him as well. So this is a pretty good YouTube channel as well. Reform Wiki. They also do a great job in like kind of exposing pastors and ministries that use the Bible to basically as a big paycheck and call themselves Christians. Okay. If you read the Bible, you know that that's not what Christianity, and that's not how God would have us to behave, in the manner that they're doing. You are literally leading tons and tons of people to hell so you can cash in on a paycheck. It's a scary thought. But anyways, let's jump into the video.
Ray Comfort's YouTube channel, Living Waters, is currently seeing a large spike in views from videos that are more frequently going viral with the YouTube algorithm. For a long time, Ray had already been one of the more prominent Christian YouTubers, with inspiring videos of conversations he has on the streets with random people.
And you've violated God's law, even though you might be a nice guy. You're a self-admitted lying thief, blasphemer, adulterer at heart. God will give you justice, but he's not willing that any perish. He's given you something that says, I don't want to die. Listen to it, man. You've got a cross in the middle of your eyes. Think about what Jesus did on that cross. Think about how much God cares about sinners, that he'd do that.
Now, I just want to take this in for a second because you see him call him a liar, an adulterer, a blasphemer. Those sins that he just labeled, that's something that we've all done. Is it not? Have we not lied? Most of us, everybody on this earth has lied at some point in time. Everybody. You told your mom she looked good in that dress. You told your girl she looked good in that dress. You told a little white lie. You didn't lie to your job about being late. You lied about something, bro. You lied to your sister so you don't hurt her feelings. Every last single one of us are liars. So he is not attacking this man, but just he's trying to help him understand that thing that you think I'm a good individual, right? I bake cookies for my neighborhood and I give them away for free, and I feed the homeless. The people who think that they are good, the Bible tells us we are inherently wicked, okay? Meaning that we are self-serving, we are prideful creatures. What he is labeling here, an adulterer, we have all slept around. I feel like most of us, very, very few people are saving themselves for marriage, bro. All right. Very, very few people. Anything outside of marriage is considered sexually immoral, and then adultery is considered cheating. All right. And then he said a blasphemer. How many of us use God's name in vain? How many of us reject God? How many of us don't believe in it? How many of us put God's name in the same sentence with a curse word or swear word? All right, so he's like he's not trying to attack this person. He's trying to get him to understand that whatever good person you think you are still living in sin. So I hope that clarifies. Like, he's not attacking this man. Like, man, you're a scumbag. But he's showing you that we all live in that sin. Anyways, go ahead.
But even in just the past few weeks, there has been a distinct shift in Ray's YouTube strategy, which is resulting in his videos reaching even more people. What is Ray doing to reach so many people so successfully? In this video, we'll break down 3 things that are unique about Ray and his ministry. Ray is just an all-around, really likable person who is a gifted teacher and communicator. Ray has a unique ability to connect with all kinds of people.
Okay, have you been born again?
I was saved my whole life. I was christened. I've never stopped being a Catholic. All I did was open up my mind to other religions, and I learned that all religions have truth.
And even when Ray chooses controversial topics to talk about.
And I think like that answer she just said sounds very good, right? It sounds like all religions have truth, okay? But here is the truth, all right? Is that the Bible claims that there's only one true religion, okay? This person just claimed, well, there's actually, every religion has its truth. One of them are wrong. So this is where I tell people that you owe it amongst yourselves to go and figure out which one has it wrong. Because here's what people can have, like, don't care to seem like to wrap their head around, is that when you die, what happens? All right. Most people have like their own notion. Most people think, I think this happened. I think that happened. Okay. Bible tells us we go to heaven or hell. One of those, again, have to be wrong. Either you take what you believe and what you think happens and you run with that until the day you die, or you choose to accept there might be a heaven or hell. But here is the truth, is that right now you don't know either one. You don't know if either or is true. Okay. I do. I have done extensive research. I have tested facts. I have been watching videos like this. I have trust me when I know and tell you that this is no joke, man. And if you guys go put in the same time, the same effort, the same curiosity, which most people don't care to do because they don't want to change the way they live. They don't want to change how they behave. They don't want to change their lives. But I promise you that if you go put in the time and you go put in the effort, you will have the same answers that I have. So the only thing I can say to this person that is listening is that if hell is real, if it's real, is it really worth not taking just a little time to go do your research to find out? How do I not go burn for all of eternity? I want you to think about that. You may say, man, I don't believe in that. Okay. You don't believe in that. What if you are wrong? Okay. And this is what I mean. And if you don't believe in it, have some premise and why you don't believe in it. And then take that premise and put those questions in front of other people. Do your research and find out, like, okay, wait, is there a reason to actually believe in this? Or is this person just, just choosing to believe God rather than Tinkerbell because they're bored, or it gives them some sense of self-righteous? No, go do your research. Let's keep going.
Okay, finish the sentence for me, okay? It's okay to kill a baby in the womb when?
I don't know.
He's able to start and facilitate these discussions so that even those who disagree with him are comfortable and willing to discuss these issues with him.
Stephen, what do you think happens when someone dies? Do you think there's an afterlife?
I don't know, probably not.
Probably not. So this is all there is?
I think so, yeah.
Christians can learn a lot from how Ray initiates meaningful conversations about significant issues with both tact and intentionality.
I think it was important you heard him say, probably not. Yeah, I think this is it right here. And that's important, man. Is because I didn't think about this or know this a year ago, but go find out, bro. Like, go find out what happens when you die. Okay? And you may say, man, there ain't nothing that we can find that would tell us that. But there is, bro. Go read, go question, go do your research, man. And you'll say, well, there's no proof. There's no proof. But there is. That's how I found out that the Bible is not just a bunch of made up stories.
You think dogs go to heaven, AJ?
Sure.
Now, what's going to happen to you when you die? You going to go to heaven?
No idea.
What about you, Callie?
I have no idea.
I just think it's crazy, man. These people I have no idea. I have no clue, you know? But, man, dude, it's just, I don't know, bro. It's scary because there should be a desire in you to find out, man. It's scary, bro.
Ray has been an inspiring example of a Christian who boldly evangelizes and shares the truth of the gospel with all kinds of people.
And at the moment you say, I'm a good person, I'll be fine on Judgment Day. No, you won't. You're not good. You're like the rest of us. Trust in Jesus Christ alone. Transfer your trust from yourself to the Savior.
I will.
Does that make sense?
It does.
Do you have a Bible at home?
Yes.
Now, you're not laughing at me anymore. Is that because you're thinking seriously about this?
Yes.
I appreciate that.
Ray admits that even for him, evangelism isn't easy, and oftentimes he is reluctant to do it.
I don't find evangelism exciting. In the sense, I don't love evangelism, and I'm going to give you a reason for it in a minute. I'd rather be home with my wife, rather be watching an old movie on television than involved in the annoying, irritating, tiresome, irksome task of evangelism. Because to those that are in the world, you and I are the ultimate wet blanket on their pleasures. And so the world is going to reject us.
But because Ray believes the Bible and the gospel,
I think that's important because he just told you that, like, nobody like me, for example, in a situation, I don't want to get on here and talk about these things. But I also think that people need to hear about this. And I give you an analogy in just a second here, that why people get up and talk about these things. Because we don't get up because we're excited for people to call us crazy. We don't get up for people to tell us that, man, you believe in a bunch of crap. And you can't prove it because, you know, God don't come down here and show his face right now. If there's a God, tell him to shoot a lightning bolt right here, right now. You know, like, we don't enjoy coming to non-believers who don't believe and sit here and, you know, look like a fool, like a buffoon. People question it. People, you know, have all these things, but we stay there and we talk because those people were just like us at one point in time. We were in the dark. We didn't understand. We didn't know. We had questions. We had this. But if we, as Christians, are there for those people and help them understand, and they have questions, they have doubts, they have things that challenge the gospel, and we answer those questions thoroughly, slowly but surely, those people can pick up little nuggets. They go do their own research. So, yeah, I want to comment on that. I think that's a good point. It's not fun looking like a nut job.
he knows he has a message that people need to hear.
How much do you have to hate somebody to believe everlasting life is possible and not tell them that? If I believed beyond a shadow of a doubt that a truck was coming at you and you didn't believe it, that truck was bearing down on you, there's a certain point where I tackle you. And this is more important than that. I could hardly believe that an atheist would have such insight.
So he fights against his complacency to bring the gospel of Jesus Christ to as many people as possible. Ray has spent countless hours starting conversations about the gospel with random people in all sorts of places.
Are you a good person?
Yes, I am.
How many lies have you told in your whole life?
I don't think I've told many lies at all.
So you've told a few?
A few, yes.
And countless
And that goes back to the same thing that guy was in the beginning. Remember how he's telling him a blasphemer, a liar, an adulterer? People consider themselves good people, but inherently the Bible tells us we are wicked people. Why? Because we cling to sin. We want to be sexually immoral. We want to sleep around. We sometimes lie because we think it's okay. It's okay to lie and tell my sister, you know, she looks good in that dress because I don't want to hurt her feelings. It's better for her to feel good about herself. Okay, like there's all these different scenarios that we justify living in sin. Okay, we blaspheme because we can't have physical proof that God will show his face right here, right now, but there's other ways to detect that there is a God, that there is a creator, that is no joke. Okay, he's just pointing back again to where this person considers himself to be a good person, a good individual. Why? Well, because they say hello to the old lady and they help her up, you know? It's more to it than just that, man. But
Christians have been inspired by Ray's example and courage in sharing the gospel. Ray stays up to date with the latest trends.
Red and Link, was Kobe a Christian? When I saw Elon Musk being interviewed on the Babylon Bee, the tragic death of Bob Saget.
And uses his creativity to effectively use these trends to reach even more people with biblical truth. Some Christians want so badly to be relevant that they compromise concerning what the Bible teaches.
So it's not a sin in your church to have an abortion?
That's the kind of conversation we would have, finding out your story, where you're from, what
Work
you
through
believe.
it, like talk
Yeah,
out
I
things.
mean, God's the judge. People have to live to their own convictions, and I think if I have to tell you...
However, Ray uses his creativity to find ways to be relevant without compromising.
the abortion segment, he pointed out as like that guy bending the gospel so that his church prospers, right? And it's true, because the guy, the pastor, you heard him say, well, it depends on your situation, where you come from, and what about blah, 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 right? Okay. Meaning like we'd have to figure out, every situation is different, but that's not how the Bible works. The Bible tells you something is sin, right? So for example, if someone was molesting children, we don't care to hear about like where you come from, what happened, what's your story. We know that probably something messed you up, but you had wicked ideas and thoughts, okay, against children. Now you have a choice with those wicked ideas and thoughts. You can go and you can try to deal with them and get help, or you can prey on children. Okay. We don't show mercy in our society to people that prey on children, even though that person may have had a wicked past and wicked situation. So it's the same thing with this scenario. When it comes to sin, it's either right or it's wrong. With homosexuality, that's deemed a sin. Okay. That's actually, the Bible calls it a sin. Okay. Now you can bet your butt that people have had different stories. They have different upbringings. They have had different experiences. They might have had trauma as a kid. You don't know. Okay. But the reality of the matter is, at the end of the day, is that we all have impure thoughts about whether it be being sexually immoral, to doing something with a girl, or a girl doing something with a guy, whether it be to hurt someone because they pissed us off, whether it be whatever, you name it. Now you have a decision with those impure thoughts, whether it be attraction to something that is a young child or an old woman. You have a decision to make, what to do to act on those thoughts. Okay. Now, like the rest of us, we have to fight those thoughts. Okay. And so there, at the end of the day, what I'm trying to say is, it doesn't matter your upbringing. It doesn't matter what happened. It doesn't matter. Okay. We actually understand and we sympathize with that, but you still have to make the correct choice. Okay. So that's what he's saying when that guy was talking about, it depends on the story and what happened. No, if it's a sin, it's a sin. Don't fall for that. Okay. He's trying to please people because this is what they want to hear. You heard the crowd? This is what they want to hear, but that's not what the Bible teaches. Okay. So if you're going to preach the gospel, always read what is actually there. Don't pick and choose to the best of your ability, and don't, well, what if this person, no, if it's a sin, it's sin. Let them know that is wrong and try to flee from it. Try to break away from it.
So God says he's created a place called hell that he's going to send the wicked to.
His creativity has resulted in conversations with well-known atheists like Lawrence Krauss.
Okay, so the fourth question.
Could a book arise spontaneously from nothing? Absolutely. But could it make itself? No.
Penn Jillette.
Having Lawrence Krauss in the film would be a huge drawcard for atheists, even though he had restricted me to just 4 questions. When we arrived at his hotel and stepped onto the DC sidewalk, I was wondering what he'd be like. I soon found out. He called out my name like some long-lost friend. Then he said, "I would like you to meet my friend, Penn Jillette." Penn Jillette? What was he doing there? For some reason, Penn wanted to sit in on the interview. Of course, both the professor and Penn wanted their photos taken with me. I knew why, but I didn't mind.
And Thunderfoot.
Hi, I'm Ray Comfort. Welcome to a discussion between myself and the well-known internet entity Thunderfoot.
Ray even found a way to change this popular atheist YouTuber's opinion of him.
Ray Comfort is the guy known as the Banana Man. I make fun of people like you, okay? I take idiotic extremists like you. So I opened it, and the first thing I saw, this person sent me a $100 gift card letter, but it says Jacqueline, from Ray and Sue Comfort. If he doesn't really hate me, I think that is amazing.
And more recently, there seems to have been a shift in Ray's YouTube strategy. In the past, the common theme of Ray's YouTube videos was his street evangelism encounters.
Now, if there's a heaven, do you think you're good enough to go there? Are you a good person?
I believe I'm a good person, yes.
However, starting a few weeks ago, I noticed that Ray was publishing videos that were more optimized for the YouTube algorithm. These were videos on various...
I laugh there and chuckle because the Bible tells us that the righteous acts that we do down here on earth are like considered like filthy rags before the Lord. And again, that's like, I think a lot of people don't want to even go and even do their research. Like just forget about actually becoming a Christian, right? People don't even want to go do the research because they want to be the God of their own lives. They want to be in control. They want to be able to decide what they want in that scenario and not have to do what they should be doing or what they are told to do. Okay. And that's pretty big because I know that that was actually a really big struggle for me, is like relinquishing things that I cling to, that I wanted to be in control of, that I wanted, right? To God. And so that's why I think that right there, yeah, I'm a good person. I deserve to go to heaven. Oh, do you? And this is what I mean. You should go read, is because you'll find out very quickly that none of us are good people. We are all sinners, and that the law, the 10 Commandments, those are there to curb, mirror, and guide. Okay. They're there to curb bad habits. They're there so that you can look yourself in the mirror and understand that I am a sinner, that there are some of these laws that I can obey, but there's others that I really, really struggle with, and then I might return to them later on. So it's there for you to get away from sin, to you to help look yourself in the mirror and understand that you are a sinner. And then it's to guide you on a better path. Okay. So I just thought that was kind of interesting where he was like, yeah, I'm a good person.
Various topics that were trending and or extremely interesting to a broad audience, such as whether the United Nations statue was a sign of the end times.
It's a statue of a beast that has an uncanny similarity to the beast described in the book of Revelation and in the book of Daniel.
Elon Musk's interview with the Babylon Bee.
Let me take a minute to say I empathize with these guys. Look at who they were talking to.
Comparing Tim Tebow to Steph Curry.
Why is Tim Tebow so hated? Because he's not ashamed to talk about sin and the cross.
And Bob Saget's death.
And even a very brief mention of Jesus. It surprised me because Bob was Jewish, but his respect for the person of Jesus was surprisingly evident.
These videos have exploded in the YouTube algorithm, and Ray is now reaching even more people with his uncompromising teachings concerning the truth of the gospel. From Ray, we can learn that creativity does not necessarily result in compromise, and the right kind of creativity can be used to reach millions of people with the full, undiluted gospel.
So, this is just a start, guys. I know there's going to be a lot of questions, and I encourage you, guys, if you have doubts, if you want to challenge any ideas or thoughts, I would love to try to answer them the best I can. I don't have the answers to everything, but I have been doing an extensive amount of research. I have been spending a lot of time with God. And so the questions, the difficult questions, you will see that as I watch more of these videos, that people will come up with the same questions you're thinking, man. How do you know your God is the right God? You know, how do you know God really exists? Do you have proof of heaven and hell? Like, these questions, bro, they're nothing new under the sun. Okay. Me and every other Christian had to go through them. Okay. And like I said, the more time that you spend, the more time you do research, the more time you seek him, those answers will become just so obvious. They will come so evident, and it will get to a point where it almost is scary. Okay. Because that's how I am now, is that like I was so blind to this. I was so in my own world. I was a good person. I was self-righteous, taking care of my own, helping my family, blah, 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 blah. Okay. But it's scary how blind we are to the fact that how did all this come to be? We still don't have an answer for how our universe came to be. A solid answer. The Big Bang Theory, we got evolution, we got blah, 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 blah. But none of it can be proven. But we do know that without a shadow of a doubt, that this did not just pop up out of nowhere. Nothing cannot make nothing. That is not how anything anywhere exists. So, someone had to create this. Your question should be, who created it? And understanding what should be the next step after you find out who creating it. Anyways, though, guys, if you guys have questions, let me know down below. We will be reacting to a lot more videos like this because this is all I've been watching. I haven't been like gaming a whole lot, or at least streaming a whole lot, because I've been just like so intrigued, and these videos have been phenomenal to me. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't already, smack that like button. If you're new here, consider subscribing. That's gonna do it for me. I'm out. Peace.